So the game that I chose to play with my kindergarten students is called Kahoot. My students have played this in the past, but I have never actually created a Kahoot. I've always just played existing Kahoots. So I was really excited to create this for the students. So one of the standards in kindergarten are the students are expected to know the 5 major vowels and the short sounds that they make. We've been practicing with this in whole groups, small groups, RTI time. So this game is a fun way for students to apply what they've learned, and it's sort of a practice, but also gives me as the teacher good feedback on what students are struggling and what students are ready to move on to something more challenging. So the students play this game either individually or with partners or small teams with 3 to 4 students in each team. But this particular lesson, I had students play it as a small group rotation, so they were playing individually. So each student had their own iPad, and they sat in front of the smartboard where the smartboard would look like this. So this is the Kahoot I created for them. So the questions 1 through 5, they actually have to, they see the picture and they actually have to select the right vowel. So then questions 6 through 10, they actually have to select the correct spelling of the word. Now question 10, I tell them that it's a bonus because they're using a blend when they're trying to spell the word frog. And blends, and same with question 7, they're using a digraph with the SH with ship. So that's something that they're also being introduced, but not necessarily being tested on right now. So they like to show off what they know by that. So now I'm going to play. So I'm going to go back and forth from this would be what they see on the smartboard, and then this is what the students look like on their iPad. So if I hit play, now for this particular one, I want them to play by themselves. So we hit the green classic. Now if they were to play with teams, they would click the team mode. So the title of this game is Medial Sounds. So they hit the green. Now it's going to give them a pin that they have to type in. And the song I have in the background is a song that we listen to every day with the vowels. So it keeps them familiar with the vowels. So I'll type in the pin. Now students are typing this in by themselves with the iPad. So they would be looking at the smartboard. So then once we hit enter, they get to, it says nickname when they're playing with teams, they come up with a team name, but for this, when they're playing individually, I just have them type their own name. So for example, if a boy's name was Johnny, and then they just hit OK, go. And then they go back, they would look up on the smartboard, and there Johnny sees that his name is there. So he's ready. So then it would be all of the players up there. So it would be Johnny and then plus like 5 other students because there are 6 students playing at a time by themselves. So then we hit start. Now this is what I control as the teacher. And then I would say, what is the middle sound in cat? They get 30 seconds. They have to identify that it would be A as the middle sound. Now on their screen, it just shows the colors. So they have to identify it's A and put that A is in with the red. So, and then it says correct. Now it says you're in first place because right now Johnny is the only one playing, but it would tell them first, second, third, fourth. It would tell them where they're at on the board, and then it shows us all who got it right. So it would be if they wanted their number to be up here. Now it would also show if somebody, accidentally hit E. It would show that one person selected a wrong answer as E. Now on here, it's a green screen, so the students see that, yes, I answered that correctly. If they were to answer any other color but the red A, they would have a red X on their screen. So then we hit next and it would show the scoreboard. Now Johnny's the only one, because we only have one person playing right now. It would show all their names and their scores. So I like to make a big deal if Avery was playing and had 715, so she was right behind Johnny, I would say, Avery, you're so close to Johnny, just make sure the next one you try to click the answer the fastest. So it's a really competitive way for the students to have fun and learn. So then we would hit next, and it goes to the next question. What is the middle sound in sun? So Johnny would go back to his, click U, and then it would say correct again. And then so up on the smartboard, we would all look at this. If somebody were to answer O, which a lot of my students, especially my ELL students, usually get O and U, the short sounds that they make, mixed up. So a lot of them would say sun as S-O-N. Then we would talk about that next, and then still Johnny, his points are going up and he's still in the lead. So then we would go, the next question, what is the middle sound in pin? Now this one's really tricky for them because they like to say with an E, the eh, instead of the I sound. So, as they were focusing on, I would say, make sure you remember, put in, and they would go to their screen, I. Okay, so then the next one I'm going to show you, I'm going to select the incorrect answer just so you can see, instead of that green check page, you'll see what happens when they select the wrong answer. So what is the middle sound in bed? So if they were to say, think it was I, it would see that he selected the incorrect answer. So this is a way, I think, to give students instant feedback. They see the green check, they're happy. They see the red X, they kind of hide their iPad, which is fine. But it also, once we go over it, it shows, we can say, uh-oh, somebody clicked an I. What should be the middle sound in bed? And we all sound it out together by clapping it, by if we have to get out our puppets. And then, so it's a quick way just to reinforce what those, vowels, what the sounds they say. So then we go to next. Now I'm just going to skip the next one just so we can keep moving on. But then so question 6, you see how it's different. Now they actually have to spell the word. So I would say, how do you spell red? And I would always say, sound it out in your head. What would make sense? Make sure you look at all of them. Don't just click whichever one you see first. So then hopefully they would select the green. I'm just going to keep skipping them just to show what happens when the game is over. And this is the same type of question. How do you spell ship? Now this one, we've been going over a lot, the digraph SH. So most of them would not select the SEP. If anything, they would get mixed up with. So I wanted to see if they could do the SH plus the vowel. So same type of question, how do you spell hat? So the same thing, the students would sound it out. They could either whisper it to themselves or sound it out in their head. They would look at every single answer before selecting which one they think makes the most sense. So then question 9, so it is 10 questions. How do you spell pig? Same type of thing. I didn't try to trick them with the beginning or the ending sounds. I really just wanted to see if they could understand and isolate the vowel. So I didn't try to trick them with any of the beginning and ending. All right, and the last question I said is a bonus. just because we just been introducing blends, so it's kind of hard for them to hear the fr and the R together. So if they were to choose the red, I wouldn't be as upset because they obviously still understand that the O is the vowel. And for this type of question, I gave them 60 seconds instead of 30, just so they could, take more time and actually try to sound out all the sounds in frog. Now, if they were to choose the yellow or the green, I understand that they still don't understand that the O is the vowel. Okay, so now that the game is over, it would bring up the scoreboard. Now, since Johnny was the only player of this game, it was showing he was the winner. So the winner has the medal. Now the second and third place, second would be over here, third place would be over here. It would show those. So if you weren't in the top 3, it wouldn't show your name, which I think is kind of a good thing because those students, it's never a person that's last. So they don't really see that, wow, I got last. Now it does tell them on there. So it'll say like he's the first place. If you were in 6th place, it would say 6th place, but only that student would really see it. They didn't have to show their friends that, wow, I got 6th place, I'm in last. It's just kind of giving that person ownership of they didn't do so hot on this game, so vowels is still something that they need to work on. Then when you say get results, I always just save the results, and I save them, I do a direct download and I'll save them as a file. And then as I open it, it opens to an Excel sheet. Okay, so with the results, it will show question summary. Now Johnny's the only one right now, but it would show you which ones he answered correctly and which ones he answered incorrectly. So this gives me an idea of maybe the students are missing just certain vowels, or maybe they don't have any concept of the vowels yet, and maybe they're thinking the vowels make an incorrect sound. So it gives me an idea maybe they're just getting the O's and U's mixed up, or they're getting I's and E's mixed up when they're in the middle. So this helps me with my small group time. So I hope you enjoyed this game. My students loved playing it. Now, like I said, this is what it shows on their iPad. So all they have to do is correctly type in the PIN and then create a name, and then they answer on their iPad. So I think it's a fun, interacting way for the students to show what they know and practice important skills and concepts that they're going to be learning throughout their schooling. It's a very exciting way for me to present learning to the students as well. Thank you.